Hello everybody, welcome to the lecture series on intellectual property. Today I'm going to discuss about patent drafting and e-filing. Guidelines on how to write patent specifications would also be dealt with. Let us have a look at the outline of today's lecture. We will be starting with introduction, what is patent drafting. Second, we will be understanding the patent registration, the different steps involved in India. Thirdly, we will understand a patent document. A patent document mainly consists of various subparts like cover page, front page, specification, claims, abstract, summary, outlines, patent drawings, etc. Fourthly, we will touch upon the anatomy of patent specification with respect to IPO or Indian Patent Office, USPTO, United States Patent and Trademark Office, PCT is Patent Cooperation Treaty, and WIPO is World Intellectual Property Organization. A well-drafted application of patent decides the fate of an invention. Drafting plays a vital role in the success of an invention during its prosecution, management, and maintenance, during its tenure and turning it into cash. Drafting a patent application is one of the most important and at the same time one of the most difficult process. Let us now have a look at the patent registration steps in India. There are 6 different steps. The first step is patentability or novelty search. Here, if you go to https://patents.google.com and if you type the name of your invention or the title of your invention, you can have a novelty search. This means whether the patent that you are applying for is already present or not. That is very important, because if the patent that is already existing and if you still apply for that patent in that with that title, then your patent will be rejected. Secondly, second point comes drafting of patent application. The third point is after drafting, you have to file the patent. The fourth point is publication of the patent application. Then comes examination of patent application, and finally the grant of patent. Let us have a detailed flow chart of patent registration in India. As you can see, there are 4 different types of patent applications. One is provisional application, PCT international application, basic convention application, divisional application. For all these applications, you have to fill up the corresponding application forms and then you have to submit. So for provisional application, it takes 12 months. For PCT international applications, it normally takes 31 months. Basic convention application takes 12 months. Then after that, it goes to pre-grant opposition. This means before grant, if any party suggests that the claims that you have already given is already existing, then that is called pre-grant opposition. You have to face the pre-grant opposition and then you can request for examination. After getting the first examination report, you have to give response to that particular report in the patent office. Now, if you comply to whatever report you have got, then your patent will be granted. Otherwise, if you don't comply, then your patent application will be rejected. Now, after the grant of patent comes the publication of patent, and then after publication, you have to go for annuity payment. Now, even after your patent has been granted, you can face post-grant opposition. Just like pre-grant opposition, you can face post-grant opposition, but here it will be 1 year from the grant of patent. That means after the grant of patent, you will be given 1 year time. Within 1 year, if anybody opposes your patent, then you have to revoke your patent. These 2 are all legal proceedings. A patent may be revoked by the High Court on a petition filed by the central government. If the High Court is satisfied that the patent holder has without cause fail to comply with the request of the central government to make use or exercise the patented invention for the purpose of the government upon reasonable terms. Next we come to the patent document. Let us understand what is there in patent document. First comes the cover page or the first page or the front page. The cover page includes all the factual information of the invention, which is called bibliographic information of the patent. Although a typical cover page consists of the name of the applicant, inventor, and title of the invention, date of priority, filing, publication, and grant of the patent, and abstract of the invention. However, different patent offices have unique sets of bibliographic information. We would be studying some of the standard bibliographic information in the next section. Patent specification, disclosure and description. The written description followed by the front page is called a patent specification. Basically, a patent specification is a written description of the invention and the way of representation and process of making and using the same. A patent specification consists of general description of the invention, claims and drawings. Let us have a look at the anatomy of a patent specification. A patent specification has several sections and seems more complicated unless you understand the basic structure of a patent application. Some of the basic structures are reproduced in the next slide. IPO, Indian Patent Office. Let us have a closer look at this patent application publication from the Indian Patent Office Journal. It consists of the application number. This is very important because this application number you have to use it for all the future dealings and responses. The country from where the patent has been applied is also given. Here it is given India. The date of filing of application is given. Publication date is also given. Title of invention is also given. And priority document number, priority date, all these, if applicable, are given. In this picture, it is shown as not applicable. Next comes the abstract of the invention. And after the abstraction comes total number of pages of invention and number of claims. This claims is very important. We will learn more about how to write claims and how to defend claims in the later section. Then comes World Intellectual Property Organization. This is important for patent application in an international manner. So PCT is called Patent Cooperation Treaty. This you can see here, applicants or agent file reference is given, international application number is given, international filing date is given, priority date is given, then patent classification number is also given, and the applicant name is given. So it is unlike the previous one, that is Indian Patent Office. This is a little bit different from the previous one. Next comes USPTO, or the patent from United States. This picture shows patent, granted patent. So patent number, you'll be after you get the grant of a patent, you'll be getting a patent number, and before the grant of patent, you'll be getting the patent application number. Now here, since this picture shows a grant of a patent, so you are directly getting a patent number starting with US, and date of patent is also given over here, and the abstract and all the details are mentioned with the total number of claims and everything, including the drawings of the patent, is also provided in the patent, granted patent. World Intellectual Property Organization, or WPO, is a specialized agency of the United Nations, and it is located in Geneva in Switzerland. There are two purposes of WIPO. Number one, to promote the protection of intellectual property throughout the world through cooperation among states and, where appropriate, in collaboration with any other international organization. Number 2, to ensure administrative cooperation among the unions. WIPO began operations on 26 April 1970 when the convention entered into force. At present, there are 193 member states. India, the country with the world's second largest population, became a member of WIPO in 1975 and is currently party to 6 treaties administered by WIPO. They are WIPO Convention in 1975, Paris Convention in 1998, Berne Convention in 1928, Patent Cooperation Treaty 1998, Phonograms Convention 1975 and Nairobi Treaty. Indian Patent Office or IPO. A typical patent specification of IPO has the following sections: title of invention, field of invention, background of invention with regard to the drawbacks associated with known art, object of invention, statement of invention, summary of invention, brief description of the accompanying drawing, detailed description of the invention with reference to drawing or examples, claims, abstract. Next comes PCT or Patent Cooperation Treaty. A typical patent specification of PCT has the following sections. It consists of technical field, background art, disclosure of invention, brief description of drawings, best modes for carrying out the invention, industrial applicability, and claims. Next we come to USPTO or United States Patent and Trademark Office. A typical patent specification of USPTO has the following sections: title of invention, cross-reference to related applications, statement regarding federally sponsored research or development if any, reference to a sequence listing if any, background of the invention, brief summary of the invention, brief description of the several views of the drawing if any, detailed description of the invention, claims, abstract of the disclosure. Now, what is there in the title of invention? Basically, the title of invention should reflect the main art of the invention. It should be precise, meaningful, and should normally be within 15 words. A title can be used for more than one invention. Next comes field of invention. Basically, field means belonging to an area of study. So, field of invention should describe the scope of the invention and subject matter of the invention on which it relates. It should be crisp and clear enough so that the examiner of patent easily understands the nature of the invention and classifies the technology according to its genera. Next we come to background of invention. This section describes the state of the art in the particular technical area to which the patent relates and what problems remain to be solved or disadvantages accompanying the prior art solutions. It should describe what others have done in the field and what problems have not been solved by this prior work. It is always better to mention the status of the closest technology, experiments, patents, and patent applications in this section. Next we go to objectives of invention. Objective of invention should clearly reflect the advantages of the invention. It should describe the solution of the existing technical problem associated with the existing field of art. Each and every object and advantages of the invention should be described in a separate sentence. Basically, this portion is a comparative analysis of the inventive technology over the existing one. Statement of invention describes the exact novel features of the invention and should clearly reflect the inventive feature of the invention over the existing one. This part is very much useful to declare inventiveness of the invention and also relates exactly to the independent claims and to complement the omnibus claim in situations of infringement proceedings. Next we go to summary of invention. The summary should describe a broad overview of the invention, and thus it should provide a structure for understanding the detailed description and claim sections of the specification. It should describe the invention overall, for example, the purpose of invention, problems that it will solve, the advantages it will offer, and so on. Brief description of drawings. As you can see here in this figure, I have shown you one US patent description or drawing. This will give you the brief description of drawings, which will include a written description of the invention that explains how to make use, and it should point the reference numerals used in the drawings and should be very much specific. You can see here the references 16, 38, 35, 46, 42, like that. You have to give your own referencing so that if you refer to one figure, it should be easy for the examiner to find out which section you are pointing to. Suppose this is the main figure and it points to figure number 42. Now you should have a figure number 42 where it relates to that particular point. The details should be sufficient enough for a person skilled in the art to understand and perform the invention. Detailed description of the invention. We must know how to do it, what to do it, why we are doing it, where we should do it, when we should do, and who is doing it. So basically the detailed description describes in detail what the invention is and how it is made and it is used. Examples showing how the invention works in a particular application may or may not be present. It should reflect the complete picture of the invention and should be sufficient for a person skilled in the art to perform the invention by developing necessary technical know-how. Next we come to a very important subpart of drafting of patent, which is called claims. Claims are the essence of a patent. The claims define the invention which the inventor holds as his exclusive property and has the right to exclude others from making, using, and selling. The claims specify the scope of ownership in a piece of property, that is intellectual property. These claims are of paramount importance in both patent prosecution in the patent office and patent litigation in the courts. Therefore, during claim drafting, the choice of words used in the patent claims should be dealt with in a great understanding and thought. Drafting of patent claims. The following points should be considered while drafting patent claims. Each claim should be a single sentence and should be clearly worded. Each claim should be precise and without unnecessary repetition. Rights are given to claims only, not for any matter described in the complete specification. Claims define the boundaries of legal protection and form a protective fence around the invention. Each claim is evaluated on its own merit, and therefore if one of the claims is objected, it does not mean that the rest of the claims are invalid. Let me now give you some tips on drafting claims. You have to figure out all the essential features or elements of your invention that you want to claim rights to. You have to start with broadest claims of your invention and then progress to narrower claims. You have to start claims on a new page and number each claim using Arabic numbers starting with 1. Precede your claims with a short statement such as I or we claim. Each claim should consist of an introduction, linking word, and body. The first claim would be the independent claim and subsequent claims would be dependent claims. And these claims should be linked so as to form a single inventive concept. There is no restriction to the number of claims to be incorporated in the specification, but the applicant has to pay additional fee if there are more than 10 claims. Claims must be supported by the description and should be based on the description. This means that all the characteristics of the invention that form the part of the claims must be fully explained in the description. Now let us find out the basic structure of claims. A patent claim is basically composed of three parts. The first one is the preamble or introductory phase or the prior art. The second one is the main body of the claim or inventive part of the claim. The third one is the linking word that joins the two. You can see here a sample claim. The first part is the preamble. There's a sample preamble may be a method for promoting weight and fat loss in an individual in need thereof. After this sentence, you can give the linking. That means the linking word should be comprising. So after need thereof, comprising what? Then comes the main body. So you can write, for the main body you can write, this is just a sample, co-administration to said individual, daily effective weight and fat loss, and so and so. So how you are writing it? First you are writing the preamble, so you are starting with a method for doing such and such things. Comprising, the word comprising is the linking word, and the third part is the main body where you are describing what you want to do. So this is the basic structure of a claim. There are many types of claims that are used in the patent specification, and these are differentiated as follows. Patents may be on the basis of drafting, on the basis of invention, on the basis of field, on the basis of structure. Claims that are on the basis of drafting may be independent claims, dependent claims, omnibus claim. Claims on the basis of invention may be product claims, process or method claims, apparatus claims, use claims. On the basis of field, the claims are Jepson claim, Marcus claim, Swiss claim. On the basis of structure, the claims are pure structure, structure plus function, means plus function, structure is function, pure function, step plus function. Let us concentrate now on drafting based claims. We have independent claims, dependent claims, and omnibus claim. Independent claim, the claim which covers all the significant characteristics of the invention, is called independent claim. Generally, the first claim is independent claim, which reflects the whole picture of invention. Here I am giving one example of independent claim. It says a method of preparing an electronic device comprising of such and such metal, converting the metal containing such and such substance like this. So in this fashion you can write an independent claim. You can just read this claim. Next comes dependent claim. The claim which depends on a claim or several claims is called dependent claim. Generally, the subsequent claims of an independent claim are dependent claim. For example, the method of claim 1, wherein the nanomaterial comprises a material. Here, this is a dependent claim because it is based on claim 1, where a nanomaterial was defined. Next comes omnibus claim. Omnibus claim is used to broaden the scope of the invention beyond the claim section. In other words, omnibus claim claims the other parts of the invention which is disclosed in the specification or drawing but not claimed in the above mentioned claims. The words such as substantially as described or substantially as described with reference to the drawings or substantially as described herein are commonly used to claim as omnibus claim. Next, let us go to invention-based claims. We have product claims, process claims, apparatus claims, and use claims. The claim which claims the actual product of the invention is called product claim. For example, a chemical compound. Compound used as pharmaceuticals, composition mixtures such as alloy, food, drink, etc. So this is an example of a product claim. A pharmaceutical composition comprising of such and such materials. Next we go to process claim. The claim which claims a new process or method to achieve the desired result is called a process claim. For example, methods of preparation, methods of analysis, method of treatment, etc. So here again, one bio-assisted method for treatment of hydrocarbon contaminated soil, such and such, employing so and so things, is given here as an example. Apparatus claim. The product claim for a device or a system or an article is called an apparatus claim. For example, a vehicle comprising a chassis, a front axle means, and a rear axle means, suspended from the chassis by rear axle suspension means. The rear axle suspension means being non-reactive, and there being a towing means secured to the rear axle by which an implement may be towed. So this is a formation of an apparatus claim. You can see the complexity of drafting of the claims. Use claim. The process claim for use of the products or application of the process is called use claim. Use of the compound of claim 1 for the manufacture of a medicament. So this is an example of a use claim. Now let us turn our attention to field-based claims. We have Jefferson claim, Marcus claim and Swiss claim. Jefferson claim style is used in the process or product claim where the invention is a modification or the improvement of the existing technology. The word wherein often used to structure the Jefferson claim. Marcus claim is generally used to structure the chemical invention where the composition of the invention has to be described in a structural diagram or formula based, as shown in this figure. It says a compound having the formula RCHNSX. Here R is an alkyl group selected from the group consisting of methyl, ethyl and isopropyl, and so on. So this is an example of a Marcus claim. Swiss claim. The structure of the claim used to claim the second or new medicinal use of the known substances or compositions is known as Swiss type claim. India does not allow this type of claim under the provision of Section 3D of the Patent Act 1970. So this is an example of a Swiss claim. Next we go to structure-based claims. There is a pure structure claim, pure structure plus function claim, means plus function claim, structure is function claim, step plus function claim, and pure function claim. Pure structure claim. A method of structure claim where the part of an invention A is structurally linked to part B. For example, a switch connected to a lamp is an example of pure structure claim. Pure structure plus function. Here, a method of structuring claim where the part of an invention A is functionally linked to the part B. For example, a switch for controlling a signal to a lamp. This is an example of pure structure plus function claim. Means plus function. Method of structuring claim where the part of an invention A is an element for achieving the part B. For example, means for signaling with a lamp. Structure is function claim. A method of structuring claim where invention defines structure and or function. For example, a signal lamp. Step plus function claim. A method of structuring claim where the part of an invention A is a step for the function of part B. For example, step for signaling the lamp with the switch. Pure function claim. A method of structuring claim where the part of an invention A is functioning with the part B. For example, signaling lamp with the switch. Next we come to abstract drafting of the patent. An abstract should be drafted in such a manner to make it reflect the technical field of the invention with existing technical problems and the solution to overcome such problems. It should be briefly drafted and it should be within the limit of 150 words. The aim of the abstract should be to provide the better information to third parties. There are 11 steps for patent format. Let us go to them one by one. We start with title. Next, we have to draft the abstract. Then comes description. After that, field of invention. Then comes description of the related art. Other 5 patents in the related area needs to be discussed here. Moreover, you also have to mention in which way is your idea or the topic for which you are going to file a patent for is different and how your idea will be more useful for general people. Then comes background of the invention. Here you have to give few prior patent publications, patent number, name of the person, company, who filed patent and the date in your related area. After that, you have to give the summary of the invention. Then you have to give brief description of the drawings. Drawings which you will provide must be represented as figure 1, figure 2, figure 3, etc. You may give different views of the product such as schematic view, cross-sectional view, top view, etc. and describe it accordingly. All the drawings must be in one page. Then you have to give the description of embodiments of the invention. Here basically you have to relate different functioning of your product with the provided drawings. After that you have to write the claims and then patent citations. So this is the format for patent citation. You have to write the name of the cited patent, then date of filing, publication date, applicant's name and the title of the patent. For patent e-filing, you can go to this website https://epatentfiling/patforms/frm-form-1.aspx. These are some of the benefits of e-filing. You will be getting prompt processing, confidentiality, ease of use, better accuracy, e-verification, status tracking, efficiency in cost, convenience, proof of receipt, and refund processing. That's all for patent drafting. I thank you very much for patient hearing. If you have any doubt, you can email me at this email address.